In some countries, they call that a fucking meltdown. Okay, Bitcoin's falling over, Nas is pumping, Dow is pumping. What is going on out there? There's big news happening on crypto. Where's this thing going to bounce, guys? I'm covering all of that today. Obviously, we've got loads of altcoins as well. Buckle up. Okay, things are getting spicy. Let's go. Guys, and remember, as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, and chin up. Okay, we're going to keep going. Fuck these guys. Okay, we're going to sort it out. Mr. Letter's Hands coming to the party today. We are going to talk about him in detail and find out why he is making all of this drama. Okay, so it is Tuesday. Obviously, we got the wave man in the house. Thank God. He can tell us how deep we are going here at some point. Okay, looking forward to Nagel's views here.
Yes,
how are you feeling generally?
Yeah, I've got the donut pillow out. I've got the tissue box. Yeah, we're vibing out here.
Hey, he's vibing. Okay, he's vibing. James, you must be bullish.
We are so back, man. So what,
good.
67 now? 65 incoming?
Okay, well, it's feeling good, guys. I mean, as we sit here, we're at 67K. We've lost a macro 618 on Bitcoin. I've just lost a $50,000 funded account that is now just gone poof. And we're going to figure out how to get this shit back. Okay, so let's get into things. Okay, we are so back. This candle looks pretty disgusting at the moment. I'm not even going to bother to show you banter bubbles. I can assure you it is nice and red at this point in time. Okay, so let's jump into Bitcoin on the 2 hour, which is what you see in front of you. Okay, so what happens now? How do you TA a red line? Okay, so in terms of what's going on here, let's zoom out. Let's see what is happening to Bitcoin here on the daily time frame, and you can see complete capitulation now playing out in full. And we can thank multiple reasons. If you want a reason for it, we can try and find a couple along the way. But in terms of what's going on here, macro 618 has been lost. You don't see that very often in the markets, that it doesn't give you some kind of reaction. I'm still a little bit shocked. I remember one day in February, I think they dropped through a macro fib as well. Pretty surprising. But in terms of the 618, it is now gone. And in terms of the next major level that starts making sense to me, we start looking at 64, 65K. Okay, so that is the next big one, 64 to 65K. Now, naturally, on the lower time frames, you are going to find multiple areas of interest. You're going to find areas where you could get short-term bounces and things like that. But my current view is at some point now that we've lost the 618, they're going to come back and they're going to revisit that 786 fib. And that is going to be this lower region. So I just want to draw you guys a picture as to what could be playing out now over the next while. If we do get some kind of bounce in the market, I do expect, they'll come and take out the late shorts and then maybe start working it back down into that type of region. That is going to be the next big one there for us on BTC. Now, let me know how you guys are feeling in the chats. Anybody got liquidated? And again, funnily enough, Nasdaq killing it for me, Dow killing it for me, crypto absolute dog shit at the moment. Let me know if you guys have the same sentiments at the moment. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Now, Tom Brown's asking short. Look, Tom, there's capitulation at the moment. It's difficult to give longs when the market is melting down like this as well, but it's also, we're getting tricky when you're getting super red candles like this. When you start trying to short these super red candles, it's the same as trying to long the super green candles. How many times can you get rinsed in those types of situations? So if you are feeling uncertain, you're feeling unsure, this is the time to actually just buckle down, sit on your hands a little bit, wait for some consolidation, and then you're going to see when there's momentum coming back into the market. But we have experienced this many times before in crypto. This is not a new thing for us. Obviously, we know just less trading here, calm down a little bit, let things settle, and then once we have clarity, we can start playing this. Panda says, guys, relax, just buy the upside down pump, guys. It's okay. Yes, I mean, you can see on this chart, I think in terms of levels, we need to drop, guys, 64. That is making sense. It's just a question of how do we get there. And also, if we do get some kind of bounce here, guys, I mean, you can see pretty clearly it's not something you want to hang on to for fresh all-time highs. Okay, now in terms of liquidity and things like that floating around, you can see they've just been taking things out here on the 1 week time frame, and this is just melting down. They're just cleaning everybody out. James, I think we need to identify our latest lickies levels here. And fear and greed, well, that's at 23. And in terms of the lickies, 1.2 billion. We haven't seen that in a very long time. Congratulations. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I might have a piece of that. Just a little piece of that floating around there.
I couldn't tell you when the last time was we even broke $1 billion, and 1.3 almost. Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to be back, eh? We are so back. 1.2 billion. Okay, congrats, boys. We survived. Okay, 1.2 billion in liquidations. Probably going to get worse now if this thing starts capitulating a little bit further. Okay, so yeah, shit the bed days, guys. It's dark out there. USDT is pumping. Let's talk about where that is going to go. But obviously, the big one is it going to bounce now, cut it off? And I actually pulled this one out in emergencies, and I think we actually passed the emergency here, and I think we have to put this one back until Bitcoin hits that 786. Okay, so I see ZEC going up. That's because people are getting liquidated in private, apparently. Okay, so, and let's see, Go Ape. Okay, let's see what else, what are other comments there. But let's talk about this, okay? I sold 32 Bitcoin. Relax, guys. Mr. Lettuce Fingers over here, okay, he told us he was never selling. Don't we feel... I feel betrayed at the moment. James, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? Are you hurt?
I mean, he told us he was going to do this. I don't know why the market's freaking out. They should have had this response 3 weeks ago when during his earnings call. He told everyone, listen, we're going to inoculate the market, sell some, show them that the entire system doesn't go down, and then we'll move on from there.
Okay, so this guy buys like 1 billion Bitcoin and market does nothing. No one cares. The guy sells a little bit of Bitcoin here and everybody shits the bed. Now, that is not the only news. Obviously, we've got Mt. Gox moving 10,000 Bitcoin around the place. This seems like an old story. We've seen this
comes up every year, right? The Mt. Gox flood usually comes up when things are bearish, and it's just another one of the reasons people attach to why we're going to zero.
Okay, so guys,
lots of reasons.
Reasons to fall over. There's so many, but let's actually talk about this at the moment. Okay, so here's Lucky explaining that Saylor has actually mentioned before that they were going to do a little test sell and see how everybody reacted. And look, obviously there's a lot more going on than just Saylor selling a couple of Bitcoin over here that's causing possible sell-offs. But in terms of, you know, having an effect, that's definitely playing a part in the current situation. And these two guys, I mean, Tom Lee, Strategies Bitcoin sale is a classic bottom behavior. Okay, Tom Lee's been calling the fucking bottom since, I don't know, 18 months ago. Okay, like, you know what? At some point, he's going to be right. Okay, like if you continually start calling a bottom, what do we call it? The blind squirrel at some point finds a nut. Okay, he's going to stumble into it and it's going to get a bounce. And he's going to be like, I told you so. Okay, so we're going to talk about ETH, BlackRock exiting 4,500 BTC. Big exits here, guys. Okay, so that's contributing.
Personally, I think, because we've been seeing the ETFs are just, everybody's selling everything in the ETFs. All of them are dropping like stones. Personally, I think this is money getting ready for the SpaceX IPO. I was worried that this was going to be a drain on crypto, everybody aping in the new shiny Trump coin, you know, and I think that's part of it. It's not all of it, but that's a big reason that this is happening as well.
Could be. And okay, so obviously everyone's getting annoyed now. Michael Saylor has urged investors to never sell Bitcoin, famously sell a kidney if you must, but keep the Bitcoin. Okay, so now
he said not to sell your Bitcoin, not his Bitcoin.
Not his. He can do what he wants with his. Just don't sell yours, guys.
You can't as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. Don't wreck the Ponzi, guys. But don't worry, we got Vanguard. They just bought $680 million worth of MicroStrategy. Okay, so that's interesting. Trying to get some kind of positioning here on MicroStrategy. I suppose that's a little drop of bull source for us out there in the market. In terms of the MicroStrategy stock, well, it looks like it needs to come down into the zone. I don't know what Bitcoin looks like when MicroStrategy is down here at these lower levels, 100 to 110, but it's going to be dark and it's going to be low if it is going to hit those types of levels. So yeah, MicroStrategy 100 to 110. We caught a banger trade on this one. Took ages to get the entry. I believe we're possibly going to get this one again. And look, at this rate, we might get it in by the end of this week. Okay, well, Grubby Gun's cooking on some of her shorts. I had one Bitcoin short running. I closed half on that 618, and they're dropping a little bit more, guys. Not the best. Okay, not the best when it starts losing these levels. And then we got these guys, Strive. We spoke about this yesterday. They bought another 2,500 BTC. So these guys are now trying to prop up the market. What's the story?
I didn't realize till today that this is Vivek Ramaswamy's company. You know who he is? Not really.
Enlighten us.
I mean, he was around during Trump's presidency. He ran, right? He was in the running for president. He dropped out, and as everybody handed it, right? He's yes.
American
American Indian guy.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Okay. So he's buying BTC. Now there's your conviction. He's the new, is he going to be the new Lettuce Hands? Okay. Let's see. Mr. Lettuce has now got a partner in crime over here. Okay. Now S&P, guys, we at all-time highs. Let's see how the crypto guys are behaving. This is me today. Yeah.
Got any extra rope guys?
Okay, well, there goes the S&P, all-time highs again. I mean, it's been an absolute smasher, this thing. Just doesn't stop at the moment. I must say, I'm loving this NASDAQ and the Dow. At least we're getting some positive action out of that. But here's a must trade for us, guys. This is Microsoft. This is a must. Okay, I believe Microsoft's going to go to all-time highs at some point. And I think there's a banger setup coming here for you guys. So Microsoft, watching this one, we've had the sell-off now. Remember yesterday, we broke above that 200-day MA, looking for a bullish retest here. If we can just drop into the zone here, 423 into 410, guys. Matt, are you with me, bro? Are you locking in on Microsoft? Let me know. Okay, I'm taking this Microsoft trade, 423 into 410. Looks like a banger, guys. You got VWAP supports, 100-day, 50-day, 0.5, Horries. Perfect bullish retest here. If it's going to continue, this is the trade. Okay, we're going to go Microsoft round 2, 420 to 410. Okay, so guys, remember all of these charts you see here, they go into the Hackers Discord directly after the show. You're going to find all of that here, possibly with a fresh when entry trade for me today. In this type of condition, you're going to get a nice setup. One of them is PENDLE that I'm bringing you. I've preset some orders. I'm going to show you exactly where these orders are, and I think we're possibly going to get a nice bounce on that PENDLE around the corner as well. So we're going to cover loads of altcoins here. I am obviously talking about NASDAQ and Dow, oil and gold. So buckle up. We got Nagel bringing in some action here.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Anything interesting? Anything you want to flirt with us with?
I've got a little bit of PENGU, Aster, Link, and Comp.
There we go. Okay, so guys, brace yourselves. They entries, I'm guessing, shorts, longs.
Yeah, they speculative. I can't short now. That's irresponsible. So yeah, most of them are longs. They're probably going to be dead cat bounces.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Okay, we'll take it, guys.
Some of them are close to entry as well.
Hey, well, if we need to get stuck in, we're gonna get stuck in, guys. Okay, so get ready. We might have some entries we're gonna take as well while we are sitting here. And look, yesterday was pretty bangerish. Yesterday, I think we nailed quite a few during the course of yesterday. Okay, now everyone's bored of the war, and the war news seems to be calming down again. Trump, what did he do, James? He called Bibi absolutely fucking mental or crazy yesterday. And anyway, so now they're calming down in Lebanon, and apparently the negotiations are back on track. And according to oil, they should be.
However, Bibi came out and said, listen, America is on our side. If Hezbollah attacks us, we're going to level them, and we are not changing our strategy there. And the talks are really stalled here. There's reports out today that there's been no messages for days and all this stuff. And so, yeah, that's not helping us.
It's going. Okay,
NASDAQ doesn't care.
So guys, world peace for oil at 98.99. I still think world peace over there, 98.99. Keep your eyes on that oil chart. I think it could be a really nice short. You can see they dropped it over yesterday a little bit early, but look what's developing here at the moment. For those of you that pay attention to patterns and things like that, possible bullish setup here on oil. Okay, so world peace, 90, call it 99 for oil. Okay, that's what I'm calling over here. I don't even want to know where Nagel's wave's sending us. Let me guess. 105. Gonna kill me.
105? No.
I'm guessing these waves are always higher. These waves always go higher.
It's pretty low. We're looking, I think we get a nice pit stop between 57, 55. I think third wave should take this.
You're talking about oil.
Oh, oil. So I was talking about Bitcoin.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Like, man, 57 on oil. Let's go.
I mean, that's quite bullish. I'm in.
No,
Okay,
I think 100's fine. I mean, 100's a psychological level.
Well, is it a wave level? Okay. We'll deal with world peace when Nagel checks the oil chart. Okay, Nagel, check the oil chart, bro. I want to know where world peace comes. I think it's at 100. Okay. Now let's talk NASDAQ. This thing has been... It's been such a pleasure to trade, and it reminds me of the responses we were getting in Bitcoin and some of these alts, you know, not even long ago, like these beautiful moves that we were getting out of these things. And NASDAQ and Dow, guys, I mean, they're really fucking outdoing themselves. I'm mapping these levels in my channel every single day. I'm actively trading these things during the US session. Look at this shit here. Look at this Dow today. Drops into a VWAP, drops into this horizontal, this wick fill. I think we even had fibbage over here. I marked this out. I dropped these levels, caught this banger on the Dow, and look at that. It's gone again for a second round here. And after, look at this rejection in that upper band here as well for us. Okay, so lots of these setups happening in the Chartakers Discord. I am covering them on a regular basis here, and I'm scalping this thing like crazy here. You can see I've got one more NASDAQ here, top long, running at the moment. In fact, I can just move my stop just under that wick over there. And yeah, look, while this stuff is working, you know, we're gonna keep dancing. When the music's playing, let's trade these things that are fun. Like I'm actively doing this now during the days. I'm setting lots of levels. Obviously, it's not perfect. Some of them we hit stops and things like that. Sometimes I bump my head 2-3 times and then we hit the banger. But there's a lot of fun here. There's a lot of good moves on these things. Okay, I'm doing tons of this on UBIT here at the moment. Okay, you guys can come and join me, and there is links in the show description. There's no KYC on UBIT, and the fees, I mean, I'm trading relatively big size per day, maybe $1 million in volume a day. And yeah, the fees are relatively low, almost nothing. Okay, in terms of these TradFi things here on UBIT. Okay, so guys, in terms of gold, this one's interesting. So strong bounce yesterday. So that was a nice little one. I jumped out way too early, and 4453. That is our support at the moment for gold. And then I've got a short for you guys for gold here, 4580. Okay, so right here up in this type of region here, 4580 on gold, looking good here for me for a possible short, bearish order block, fibs here, wick fills, those types of things. Okay, so wait patiently here. Gold either higher up or we're looking lower down for a trade. I wouldn't speculate here where it's floating around at the moment. Okay, let's check into Bitcoin. Is it getting worse or is it getting better? Fuck me, guys. Hey? I mean, this is rough. What? I don't know what to say. This is rough. Are you enjoying this?
Yeah, I was just looking at oil, boss. It's bad.
What, the upside?
Yeah, going to the upside. We've got a massive bullish divergence on the daily with a big blue dot measured move of like 128.
Okay. Well, world peace at 100. Okay. At least a ceasefire or something at 100. Okay. So guys, yeah, this Bitcoin. Let's go higher levels here, higher time frame quickly. Okay. Where can this thing bounce now during the course of the show in terms of levels that we can work with? We've got 66,626. We've got 65,750, and then we've got the big one, 64,700 at the moment. Okay, so these are the three levels that I'm watching here, and we're going to keep track of this. If we start dropping into these zones during the course of the stream, maybe we can catch one of these bounces and see if we can get some kind of move out of this guy. Now, obviously, one of the big things we want to watch is USDT dominance, and you can see at the moment this thing is pushing up now into quite a big zone here, 8.5%. And right now, I suppose we could say this is a rejection area here. So a little bit of bull source here at the moment. Might get some market relief somewhere around this current level where we are at the moment. If we do pop through, guys, that is where the next market relief bounce, I would assume, is going to be coming for us. Okay, so looking at that, and Raphael Daniel says he's out of undies. I don't think you're going to be the only one. And in terms of this, like, this is quite amazing. Okay, Bitcoin dominance, Nagel. Like, this is the reason these alts haven't gone to zero yet.
Well, on paper, technically, what we've all just experienced is actually alt season, because alts outperformed Bitcoin while Bitcoin went down. So on paper, this was an alt season the last 24 hours.
Guys, hope you enjoyed alt season. That was it. He's 100% right. Nagel absolutely nailed that. This was your alt season. Okay, this is the weekly. Okay, there's your 3 weeks of alt season while the market's rolling over. Okay, so guys, I think, yeah, the bags went down, whatever happened there. 3 weeks of alt season, it ends at 58.3%, and then we're going to go back to Bitcoin season. Okay, that is what we're looking at here. And Miko says virtual looking good. We're going to tap into these alts now, guys. I haven't looked in the last couple of minutes. In terms of the divergence scanner, look, they are trying to print divergences here. Okay, you can see we've got 1 hour divergence prints, Lido, Sol, AERO's printing multiple bullish divergence after stopping me out on my when entry AERO. If that's bouncing, fuck, I'm going to lose my shit. That's going to be irritating. Sol divergences. Okay, you can see, guys, there's a lot happening here in terms of some shifts in the market sentiment here. 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, they are leaning towards some kind of bounce now in the market. Now, let's talk about this guy. Okay, this guy longing ETH, he got lickies. Okay, we spoke about this yesterday. 1947 was his lickies, liquidated on support. Did we call it, James? Yes or no? We called this thing.
100%. Yep.
We absolutely called it. Liquidated on support. Let's see. It actually went lower. Nagel, it's in your level here. Is this your long zone for you?
I'm in a long now, and I am currently, 10% up on 10x leverage. That was my level, sir.
Shall we long ETH here? No.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
No. I'd rather long some pumpies here. Wait.
Please, can everyone in the chat just say no, Dylan, don't long ETH.
I got a nice ONDO. I got a nice ONDO left. Okay, the ONDO's making a comeback. Okay, the ONDO's making a comeback. Okay, come ONDO. Go back. Okay, so guys, we are hitting a couple of levels here on some of these things. I see tons bouncing. I was running a head short there, and it now is bouncing. Okay, so that's looking interesting here. And virtual, I think I've missed it now. Shit. Okay, so let's go. ETH, if you want to trade ETH, you can hear Nagel. There's your stop. Put your stop under this wick. There you go. Okay, so stop under 1885, guys. That is it. You close under there, then you can cut that guy. ETH is then going to zeros if it's not already. And this oscillator looks like absolute dog shit. Okay, but 1885 for ETH, guys. That is your level. And Bella says PENDLE wants to front run the level. Shit, guys. We're gonna look quickly. Okay, let's go. Solana, it's closing the wick, guys. This is the zone. Risk relatively small, I would say. If you are jumping in here on SOL, let's just take a look here at the risk involved. In terms of this, it's 1.5%, give or take, that you can play with. Alternatively, the next big one is going to be the 74 level here on SOL. And this is a simple fib and a portion of this wick fill that you can see over there. Okay, so possible bounce here on SOL. Not very exciting, but big moves there to the downside on these guys. Okay, let's look at PENDLE. Okay, so here's the play. Here's the PENDLE play. The real trade is 1.25 into 1.24. Okay. There's possibly a short-term bounce here on PENDLE on this little range that you see on the screen in front of you. There's possibly a short-term bounce here with support at 1298. Okay, so 1298. Arden, I'm not longing SOL, bro. Chill. SOL keep punching me while I'm down. So does ETH. So does Bitcoin. But funny enough, some of these other players are doing okay. Okay, so Giovanni, I looked at Hype just now, and it looked touch bearish on the lower time frame. But we're going to talk about it. It's coming. Okay, so guys, if you want to risk PENDLE, 1.298 is your degen support. Alternatively, I believe it's coming lower. I don't know when, but I've got some orders set here on WEX. Okay, and obviously this is the level 125 into 124. Let me show you what is going on here on this PENDLE. Okay, let me just show you where my entries are. There we go. 126 and 125. I've got two entries waiting here on WEX. Okay, so 126 and 125 for PENDLE. Looking for the move into that zone, and then I'm expecting some kind of bounce there from those guys. Okay, and then we can grow the size. But if you want to copy that trade, it is locked in there for me. I am expecting lower at some point. Okay, so let's talk about... Oh, I lost this. I had a tweet here for you guys. Let's talk about ONDO. Dude. Like, I mean, if this thing hasn't caused me trauma and you trauma, who else is trading ONDO?
I got so seasick. I had to get out. I couldn't stomach it. But look at that chart.
It's trauma.
It's the only thing that survived all of these stop losses I've taken today. This is the only thing left.
Well, it's funny enough. I had a couple of stops today, and ONDO actually held. Okay, big size-ish, $88,000. And it's kind of holding the level. You can see my stop there is 338 that I'm sitting at here at the moment. And guys, I think we can use this. Obviously, the longer it sits here, we can start identifying this lower base here for ONDO. But in terms of big zones, you can see this whole region over here making sense as support until it fails. Now, I thought I was going to hit my full TP today. I had a preset TP on ONDO at that upper region. And I mean, monster reversal early, but it's a beautiful rejection zone, guys. Look at this beautiful wick up here, VWAP 382. It's an absolute banger there for a possible short even later on, but that is my current TP zone. Okay, so waiting for this one. Willius says, I'm dying. Don't worry, guys. I lost a $50,000 bit-funded account today, fully funded account. It went poof. Okay, and look, I was a little bit aggressive on Bitcoin, but look, it was rightly in the zone, and yeah, took a hiding. Okay, let's talk to Nagel, and then yes, sir. And then we've got, after Nagel has finished giving us some action, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got on this comp thing and a couple of others. And oh, did you know the ADA girl has moved to what was it? Algo.
I saw that.
Algo.
She's now an Algo girl because ADA is so
she's
shit.
An Algo girl now, or maybe she's maybe she's like pivoting. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, that's what's going on. So Ondo, then guys, I'm bringing you BNB, Virtual, AERO, Jupe, Near, Hype, Render, Pump, Ton. If we got time. James panicking. He's like, fuck, that's a lot of jots. Okay. Okay, Nagel, hit us with some stuff.
Okay, let's start with the ones that have already hit entry or are very close to it. So the first one was comp. This thing was literally snapped. I posted this comp, I think it was on Saturday for the YouTube, and we did it last night in the Bitfunded Zoom. If we can be lucky enough to get a 50% wick fill here on comp, okay, it's quite a massive retrace there. The risk if you enter now is like 8%, okay? So yeah, comp's pretty much run at the end of the day. What you can do is you can do along the top situation. Where do we long the top from here? I think if we gain acceptance above this daily pivot, now that is probably the tightest daily pivot I've seen in a very long time. What we're gonna do is that daily pivot is it's like very tight. Line. Yeah, so let's say if we can get a pop above 18.1 or $18.10. What I want to look for is we want something like this. It needs to pop. We'll probably hit this imaginary line that I've put here as resistance. We'll come down. This is where you're going to jump in there. What is our price levels we're looking at here for the retest? Yeah, 18.8 is where I'll get excited for this. We're going to pop a stop just below, which is going to give us a stop of 17. And yeah, you would have missed out on TP1. So the ones that jumped in here, you guys get to enjoy TP1. And everyone else that's jumping in for the second round, your TP2 is going to be up here at 20. And yeah, little 10% mover that you can catch there. And I think catching 10% moves in this market is a gift at the end of the day. The other one that was pretty close to entry is my Link. Why do I like Link? Link has come now. It's deviated value area low, and it's starting to close back above it. And what I like is value area low lined up with this macro 618. So that's pretty much juice for me. The entry on this guy, 8.54. If you want to jump in now, what is the risk? Your risk is about 4%. We're going to have stops on Link. And this one you can actually jump out pretty early. So this is a 6-hour chart. If we start to get like a 4-hour close and we gain acceptance below the value area low, which is at 8525, okay, yeah, I think you can start cutting out your position. But this reaction is good enough for me. So I'm in this one. And the other one that is pretty close.
So am I logging Link? Fuck me.
Yeah, jump in. Okay. Just jump in.
Link. Fuck it.
Let's long Link.
Guys, let's get liquidated on Link. Fuck it. Let's go. I haven't touched Link in a while. Feels like it's a while.
No one has.
Okay, let's go. We hit a bit of Link. Okay, let's hit a bit of Link here. Let's see if we get a bounce. Is ADA at an all-time low? Well, ADA is at all-time filth. I can tell you that. I mean, filthy. The ADA girl pivoted to Altcoin. I don't know if she's still doing. I'm gonna find her. Wait, I'm gonna find her. I'm gonna find her quickly. Okay, hold on.
Okay. The other one I'm looking at, who's also at entry in a bullish order block. This one we must just give a bit of space because there is a 786 below. So this might be a much lower target before we actually come lower. So we've now hit POC, okay? And this is probably the higher probability before we get any more fun. Before we get actual fun. So the main entry here, I want to get in at 0.00667. But I think we get a bit of a dead cat bounce now off this trend. If you want to take a mini scalp, you can enter it now, and I'd say put your stop just below this trend. Yeah, a little 3% there, and then this is going to be a much lower target into that daily pivot that we lost. So entry now, where are you going to jump out? You're going to jump out here at 0.0076, and then just have a stop below this trend. The bigger juice is this bad boy down here. I think we get a nice push back up to bearish retest value area high at some point. So that's a nice 20% up there. Yeah.
Okay.
Entry.
So Panda's jumping into Link as well. Okay, so I got Link here. That's good. PENGU, shall we go? James, shall we trade PENGU, bro? Shall we do it? Let's fucking go. Come.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
Let's go some PENGUs. Let's get some PENGU here. Let's do it on WeX here. Let's get some PENGU spice going here.
PENGU lattice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go small here. I'm gonna go junior PENGU. Where's the stop?
I think just what's probably going to be safe is you can get a stop at 0.0676.
Jesus, that's deep, eh? Deep. Okay, but that's fine. We got to be patient for this one. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. You can actually raise it a bit. Take that to 6.82.
682. Okay, I can work with that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on a 6-hour chart here. We do, in a sense, we don't want to lose this bullish order block. This is like a 65% bullish order block. It's nice. It's not as nice as the 68, but we definitely get a scalp out of this guy.
65% of the time it works every time. Okay,
yes,
cool.
Sir.
There we go. So virtual. Are we gonna have to jump into virtual here as well? Fuck it.
Oh
Okay,
my gosh, this became a buying spree.
Okay, Mia, I'm buying virtual. Okay, twist my rubber arm. Okay, hold on, Mia. Why are you twisting my rubber arm like that? In fact, I mean, looking at some of these levels here, these things have all dropped into these zones. Okay. Getting spicy, getting very, very spicy here. Okay, so PENGU, Link, I like it. James, please don't bring us H-bar. Jamal.
I tried hard not to.
Okay, look, guys, I got some others for you. Nagel, stick around, bro. Yep. I'm gonna need your moral support here in terms of the filth that I'm getting involved in here at the moment. Okay, I mean, I can't believe the first thing I saw there was Link, and now we long fucking Link, we long virtual. No, this is disgusting. It's already getting disgusting. Okay, so Link. Okay, we're not massive. Okay, maybe we can go a bit bigger on Link. Maybe we can go a bit harder. Let's go like a little bit harder. Oh, it's on 3x. I mean, that's not helpful. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're 50k long. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, ONDO, you know the drill. BNB. Do we still like BNB, James? Are we still bullish on their deal with ONDO? They must be. They must be. Okay, guys, BNB is here. Bullish retest zone. This is the absolute low of the bullish retest. Okay, so if you like BNB 658, guys, this is it. Stop options for you. Okay, easy stop. Very simple stops. You can go 655. Alternatively, you can bang it under the VWAP and the 50-day and that candle 641. Okay, 655 and 641. Those are BNB stop options. So far, it is actually following the plan. So let's not get too upset about that drop. 655, 641. Those are stop losses for BNB. Okay, virtual. Let's talk about that. Super tight daily perverts here as well. Are there daily perverts on virtual? There must be.
There must be. Check that for you quick.
Please check the perverts. Okay, so those perverts are available also in the indicator pack as well, guys. In did I long virtual? Yes, we did. Okay, we got a virtual long going. Okay, we got virtual and AERO. Okay, virtual AERO. Okay. God, now Bitcoin's bouncing and I'm out of a Bitcoin position. Very frustrating. Very frustrating.
Missed my limit at 67. On virtual, we are sitting on a 6-hour POC. We're slightly below the. You can pull my screen up there if you want to see what I'm looking at. Okay, so look, there's a daily pivot. So it's not like super tight, but we've got a bullish order block that's sitting just above the money POC. So this is like a good level to hold, and you can actually see by these wicks. The bulls are just not letting go here. We're just we're just absorbing everything. So I think once price gets above here, then I think we've done a decent sweep. What I don't like is we left this low behind.
But same problem here. So, okay. So guys, you can see we've had a monster dump in the market. Bitcoin absolutely shat the bed, but we've had a lot of altcoins holding some very interesting levels. Virtual's obviously one of them. Look at that comeback now for Virtual. So the big one, 6844, you can see that is still in play. And then upside, you can see these upside zones, 75, 77. I have longed it. If you want to do a degen stop, you can do what I've done here. You can bang a stop under that candle. So 703 is a possible stop on Virtual, and then lower down below 684. Okay, so keep it below that 786. Look why. You can see the wicks over there. See those wicks there. Keep it under that 786. All right. So look out for those levels. But Virtual, you can see it's along over here. Then in terms of AERO, guys, if you want to speculate, I've taken a small position there while Nagel was talking. Bullish order block 618 wicks. Those types of things. Okay, so decent zone for us here. Possible bounce. Look at that oscillator now on the 4 hour, looking like it might want to reverse. Okay, so looking for a small bounce on AERO. Did I say Virtual? I meant AERO. 367, guys. That is your exit zone. 367. Alternatively, you can look under, say, 3627. Okay, so those are the two stop options there. If you want to speculate on AERO, could be a short-term bounce. I wouldn't hang on too long to some of these bounces here. Let's not overdo it, okay? Little small moves here potentially for us on some of these things. Fuck me. There goes Virtual. Okay, so, I mean, not Virtual. I keep saying Virtual. Dupe. Okay, there goes Dupe. 200-day MA, VWAP, 50-day MA, fibs. Okay, doing the job. I think I wouldn't chase this now. I'd rather just pass on this one. Okay, so you can see we're hitting fibs on a lot of these alts. We're hitting some good levels here. Dupe, obviously, now a little short-term recovery bounce. Let's see where it goes. I think you get a short on Dupe, guys. You can see I've got my alarm on here at 21. Possible short on Dupe into the VWAP, into the bearish order block, into the fib, and look out for that zone. Okay, so alarm on in that area. You'll get away with about 1.3% risk at 21 for Dupe. Okay, take a look there. And apparently, yeah, Zcash is absolutely flying. Near not doing much. Hype. This was my thought on this. Okay, there's actually there is a little bit of a bearish energy here on Hype at the moment. You've been obviously focused on this. What are you looking at here?
I completely closed out. I think on the Sunday banger, we had a discussion about it. I said, you know, there's nothing on the chart on the left-hand side anymore, all-time high. So I could only use prediction tools. And yeah, they said 73, 75 is what I called. I had closed my long at 73. I got a bit nervous because it pushed a bit higher, but I see it sort of doing that. And yeah, I would like a nice retrace now. Your last zone there looks pretty good. Let this thing cool off. I mean, it's just been chugging at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think let it cool off. Head and shoulders, like it. I think it goes again. Obviously, before the SpaceX, I think it goes 83 at the very least. I mean, Hype could obviously go higher, but right now, you know, I gave you this type of play yesterday. You're just looking for these bounces off these zones. Okay, that's kind of what you want to play. So 71.2, 68.35, you probably get a bounce, and then 66. That looks pretty good. I mean, there's nice wicks here at 64 as well. So that whole area looks pretty good to me on Hype. Those are the three levels. We'll leave that in the Discord for you guys. You'll get that. Render just won't go into the zone, guys. I thought today was the day. I thought we were getting this one. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Obviously, so much AI sentiment out there, AI stocks, all the type of thing, and everyone buying up things like Render, Virtual, Near, all these AI plays. Okay, so look, for me, the big level is 1.9. There's speculative moves in between. You can diddle in the middle. Just be aware that you are literally diddling in the middling. Okay, so the big one is 189 for me. For Render, I've got an alarm on in that zone. Like, it's a banger. Okay, so just give it some time. Pump, interesting one here for us. Okay, strong bounce off a 786. Okay, you can see I did long that one earlier. Off that 786, and we've got a nice reversal here on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so just looking for these short-term snapback bounces now in the market. I wouldn't get overly excited. In fact, if you want to TP some of these things, or you want to TP some of these levels, or you're looking for some shorts, what you can do is take your fibs from their highs, bang, all the way to the lows, and all you're going to look for now is your bear zone. Okay, your bear zone is your 0.5 and your 382. and then you're going to try and tee up some VWAPs with that as well. And if they align nicely, and especially on some lower time frames, then you can look at trying to jump into some kind of short there. Okay, so in terms of that, you can see the 0.5 is actually, wait, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that guy. What I'm trying to do is tie in the VWAP with our fibs. Okay, I see my screen's hanging here. This bounce is different. Is this the bottom bounce, guys? Is it different this time? Eh? James, is it different? Is this time different?
I don't know about that.
Okay, so let's try and figure out where our first danger zone is for this pump. Obviously, this is an unnatural bounce now, so they're probably going to come back and try and fill some of these wicks as well after that drop. But you can see immediately the 0.5 at 00177 starts becoming your first major zone, because you got confluence there with fibs, and you got VWAPs, and you got horizontals. And then I just want to highlight the next big zone here as well on this pump. And both of these look like typical TP, typical short zones that you guys can play with on any moves to the upside. Okay, so just look out there, 1797 and 177. Those look like trouble for me on pump. Okay, so look out there. Mr. Intruder longing Cardano. Okay, and I found it. Where's she? Wait, where's she?
Lily.
Yeah, let's see what the latest is. This is the ADA girl.
Yeah.
Can you hear this?
Yep.
Yep.
Did she say something?
She said GM. She's drinking tequila and coffee, apparently.
I think I was
The
distracted.
stress of not being involved in Cardano anymore, I guess. I'm guessing. I don't know. Lily, okay, we must get her back on the show. I messaged her today saying, have you left Cardano? And she said, no, well, I'm not Algo, but it looks like she's also doing Pikachu or whatever this shit is. What is
Pokemon cards. Nice.
Pokemon cards.
Hey,
Okay, so
everybody's got to make money somewhere.
slight pivot there, okay, for the ADA girls, but maybe it's time to get her on. She can come talk Pokemon, tequila, bikini tops, and longing Algorand, I guess. I mean, those seem to be the combos that we need to. She's doing sports betting now as well. Okay, she must come on the show. We'll get her on the show. Okay. Geez, this dupe is it's aggressive.
ICP is friggin' aggressive. That thing is insane.
God, guys. Okay, look, at least we locked in a couple of longs here. We locked in a couple of longs. Where's the stuff? Oh, I wanted to talk about this lab and this move. Now I've lost that tweet. I don't have it now. Sheba Mac gave it to us. That's what I was looking for earlier today. Okay, so guys, I think don't jump into too many positions. I think short-term little bounces here, I would be super careful. Obviously, in staying sort of on overextended moves. You can see you've got ETH, you got SOL, you got BNB, you got Virtual, you got AERO, you guys got a couple of bounces here from us. Just be careful with how you are playing these things. I mean, it could just obviously fade relatively quickly. I mean, God, this will be comedy if Bitcoin reclaims that wick and then starts climbing. Is that going to be comedy
recovery out of here after stopping everyone? That would actually be fitting. Everyone's too afraid to push buttons, and then it's just go fly.
Comedy time. Okay, so guys, look, I've got a couple of longs going on here. Okay, Link, Virtual, AERO, Pump, Ton is short, ONDO, that's doing things, and then I've closed half my Bitcoin short. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I banked some of that short a little bit early, as it turns out, but yeah, maybe it was the right play. I do believe Bitcoin goes lower. Okay, I do believe Bitcoin goes 50K, 40K, 29.5. Okay, so again, opportunity to grab shorts here. Let's not be in any form of delusion. I think my view is at some point we're going down again. Okay, so bull moon started now. Well, give us a bull moon to 75. We add to the shorts and then we go down again. Okay, so yeah, sounds pretty decent. Tomorrow is pre-market trading. We're going to cover you guys there, Orb and NASDAQ and things like that. Let's see, am I still in this NAS or did I get stopped out on this puppy here? About to get stopped out. Okay, but I mean, I've had a solid day. I missed the close on the pump. Okay, so remember these NASDAQ and Dow, relatively short moves. You want to clip off profits as quickly as possible on some of these things because they can reverse relatively quickly, but a ton of fun trading this stuff on Ubit. Let's just see where we are. Okay, there. So it's in that upper band now for the NASDAQ. So that's a possible rollover. Remember, that is all-time high. It's just taken all-time high. So possible rejection. And then our target was the 1618 fib at 30,680. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it.
Every day a new all-time high.
Oh, it's mad. Okay, so that's why we carry on dancing while the music's playing, and then crypto comes back, and we get bored of the Nasdaq, gold, and oil, and then we all in on these crypto things again, and then we rotate. And guys, I'm updating every day in the channel. The team is working their absolute asses off in that Discord. Really, we got such a solid team in there, guys. Come if you're feeling a little bit like out of sorts, if you're feeling alone out there, and maybe you got rinsed today. Come hang out. We've got a beautiful community in there. We've got a massive team here looking after everybody and all types of trading. Okay, it's all going down in there. Okay. Thank you, boys.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, guys. Later.